The lights, the red carpet, the millions, and the awards, all of these glamorous appearances make us believe that art celebrities live in protected, ivory towers. However, historical reality always proves the exact opposite. When the curtain falls, stars often find themselves facing a reality that can be far darker and more brutal than any cinematic movie they ever starred in. This week, the world woke up to a series of events that were far from natural deaths, events that shook public opinion and turned social media platforms into an arena of intense controversy, skepticism, and unanswered questions. 1. The bloody scenario of James Handy's murder. Let us begin with the most brutal and controversial event, which brought back to mind the mysterious and horrific murder cases in the wealthy neighborhoods of Los Angeles. The veteran actor James Handy, who carved his name into cinematic memory through his participation in Hollywood's biggest productions like Top Gun, Maverick, and Jumanji, saw his career, which spanned since the 1970s, end in a tragic way at the age of 81. The crime was not a mere random robbery or a passing incident. Rather, it was a brutal execution within his secure family environment in the Tarzana neighborhood. The prime suspect is his girlfriend's 44-year-old son. What sparks controversy and suspicion is not just the act of stabbing Handy in the chest and leaving him unconscious in the front yard, but the psychological background of the perpetrator. The police received a 911 emergency call carrying a message coded with religious delusion, or megalomania, where the killer screamed, "I am the Son of Man. I have just killed the man of sin." This surreal rhetoric left investigators and the public questioning the nature of the atmosphere and disputes within that household. The shocking and ironic paradox here is that Handy spent decades of his life portraying law enforcement officers and investigators in famous crime series such as Castle, CSI, New York, and Profiler, only to end up dying as a victim of a real-life murder that surpassed in its mystery and psychological details all the scripts he had read throughout his life. Public questioning is now mounting. Are there hidden motives behind this crime that have not yet been revealed, especially with bail set at a staggering $2 million? 2. The passing of Anthony Head and Sarah Gellar's eulogy. While the American public was trying to decode the murder of Handy, the British and international artistic community received another blow with the passing of the veteran actor and composer Anthony Head at the age of 72. The death came as a result of sudden complications from pneumonia, which caused a shock because Head was active and possessed a strong presence. Anthony Head is not just an ordinary actor, he is an icon of the 90s generation. He is Rupert Giles in the famous series Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the Prime Minister in Little Britain, and more recently, the cruel character Rupert Mannion in the award-winning series Ted Lasso. However, what triggered real controversy and turned the death into a trending event was the eulogy written by his co-star and the protagonist of the Buffy series, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Sarah did not just mourn an ordinary colleague, she broke the fourth wall between reality and drama in a way that astonished followers. She directed her words to the dramatic character, saying, "Tell Giles I got it and I'm okay." She then followed up with a sharp and poignant admission. "Okay, I didn't get it, and I'm not okay, but I'm lucky to have known you." This style of eulogy opened up a wide critical debate among critics and audiences alike. To what extent do dramatic roles consume the real identities of actors? And do these stars live in a state of chronic psychological attachment to their characters even decades after the work has ended? Sarah's tribute transformed from a mere condolence into a psychological document highlighting the deep impact that Hollywood leaves on the minds of its creators. 3. The death of the Latin rock wall, Indio. From the hustle and bustle of Hollywood and the suburbs of London, we move to South America, which is living in a state of national mourning mixed with bitterness following the announcement of the death of the legendary Argentine icon and musician Indio Solari, at the age of 77, after a long and bitter struggle with complications from Parkinson's disease. Indio was not just a rock singer who sold albums. He was the leader of the band Patricio Rey y sus Redonditos de Ricota, a band that was not merely a musical phenomenon, but a massive cultural, political, and social movement representing the voice of the oppressed in Argentina. extending from the 1970s until the turn of the millennium. Indio's death represents the official end of a revolutionary, resistant rock generation. Critics consider his departure a fatal blow to the raw Latin musical identity that was never swallowed by capitalist commercialism. His concerts and statements always drew the ire of authorities and major corporations due to his sharp stances and his overwhelming influence on millions of youth. With his passing, the torch of musical rebellion is extinguished, leaving the Latin art scene facing a terrifying question: did real rock die with the death of Indio? And will his passionate music turn into mere commercial commodities in the hands of corporations after he spent his life protecting it with his presence? We are facing an exceptional week by all standards, one in which masks have fallen and cinema has intertwined with reality in a terrifying way. Between mysterious stabbings driven by religious motives, a dramatic eulogy that blurs fact with fiction, and the death of musical rebellion icons, reality proves once again that it always possesses scenarios far more cruel and controversial than anything the imagination of writers can craft. Are we truly witnessing the end of the era of giants, or has fame itself become a curse that consumes its owners until their very last breath?